Welcome back. This time of the year, youth unemployment always comes under the spotlight as it is one of the major issues facing young South Africans. South Africa alone accounts for nearly 2% of global youth unemployment, which means we have more than double what might be termed our fair share of global youth unemployment. This, however, does not mean that we aren't seeing success stories in getting our young people into the job market. At the beginning of this month, here in Gauteng, the city of Johannesburg launched its Vulindlela eJozi program, which will link the jobless youth to the opportunities that's around. Now, to tell us more, well, we're happy to announce this morning that the Mayor of Johannesburg himself, Mr. Parks Tau, has joined us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for joining us on Youth Day.
Thank you very much.
And then also the Executive of Special Projects at the Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, Mr. Bernard Ngosi. A very good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning to you too. Ed.
You don't have to worry. You look very powerful sitting right next to the Mayor this morning.
I hope so. I hope so.
Mr. Mayor, we always hear stories of doom and gloom in South Africa. It seems as if we are at effect of our own negativity sometimes. But we're facing this groundswell of negativity around youth employment, or call it young people unemployment. But there are programs that are working.
Yes, there are. And in fact, I think it's important that we acknowledge the role of both the public and private sector in initiating programs that are targeted at young people. And that's why we've partnered with Harambee, which is a Youth Accelerator program. That's really an organization that's been established with the sole purpose of addressing youth unemployment and ensuring that there's job placement programs, job readiness programs, and we've partnered with them to increase the capacity of the program and to accelerate it to reach as many young people as possible. We're targeting to reach an estimated 200,000 young people within a year to ensure that we're able to channel them into different opportunities. These are educational jobs, enterprise development programs, our own eJozi at Work program, and other initiatives that are there. And I'm sure Bennett would talk about the statistics, but reality is that the young people suffer the greatest brunt in terms of unemployment and poverty, but also access to employment is limited by lack of access to networks, and this is an opportunity to get them into a network of opportunities.
That's really what Harambee does, and you've got the last 4 years, you've placed thousands and thousands of young people.
Yes, in fact, over the past 4 years, we've managed to place about 15,000 young people into jobs, into permanent jobs, with some of the most well-renowned and some of the most well-recognized brands in South Africa, including your Pick n Pay, Discovery, and others in various sectors of the economy. And I think the one thing that has been interesting in terms of the journey that we've undertaken as Harambee is the reality that young people are actually hungry for these types of opportunities. So we haven't had problems being able to source or being able to access candidates who are willing to put their hand up and say, I want to change my particular circumstances and I want to be part of a program that is as broad and that will allow me to be able to work for work, which is our tagline at this moment in time, but to be able to put up my hand and say, I'm going to take my own journey, I'm going to map it out, and I'm going to take the next steps to make sure that I change my particular life.
Mr. Mayor, I saw a study conducted last year. It says 900,000 job opportunities for first-time job seekers in Johannesburg. Is the outlook that rosy?
Well, the outlook is quite rosy. I should say that if you think about it, there are always job opportunities. It's a question of placement and people taking advantage of the opportunities. And as I said, we have launched what we call the eJozi at Work program, which is also a community co-production model that engages community enterprises in delivering municipal services. And through this initiative would be channeling young people into enterprise development programs. So we think that there are great opportunities out there, and it is about ensuring that people have access to those opportunities.
The word that always comes out in the job market or from employers, some people are unemployable amongst our youth.
Yeah.
How do you view that?
Well, perhaps there's some truth to it, but the studies that we've conducted have shown that in reality, there are challenges with young people encounter on a day-to-day basis that if we're able to address, allow us to be able to channel young people into job opportunities within the private sector. And I mean, the major barriers that we're trying to address from an employment point of view include lack of access to networks and essentially information about what opportunities exist, where they exist, and what is required for candidates or young people to be able to access those opportunities. The second one is lack of experience, because most of them have never worked in their entire lives. And the third one, which is perhaps more critical and perhaps an indictment on our education system, is the lack of the appropriate skills to be able to walk into a workplace and be able to be productive from day one. Our program essentially is designed to address those particular issues. And I think with the partnership with the city, we're looking at broadening the range of opportunities and addressing other barriers which we feel are pertinent for us to be able to get more people economically engaged within the city of Joburg.
Skills and industries. That's the key words coming out from what Bernard is saying. Is that a key focus for the city?
And that's what the partnership is about. It's about ensuring that you prepare young people for employment opportunities. It's about job readiness. It's about training. It's about ensuring that some of them are channeled into skills development programs. So it's about ensuring that you create opportunities for young people, and they're able to access these opportunities. And that's what the Vulindlela eJozi program is about.
Tell us about young people. I understand you've got a Mobi site. You've got to be quite tech savvy now with the way that young people communicate and the way that they live. Tell us about how young people can sign up. I understand you've got a Mobi site as well.
Yeah. So today we're proud to announce that we've launched the Mobi site. It's called Vulindlela eJozi with an .mobi, where candidates can apply directly to be part of the program. That is essentially the first step in young people saying, I'm putting my hand up. We've got a number of teams across the city that are doing activations in Eldorado Park, in Soweto, as well as in Diepsloot to register candidates. But we're also going to go on an activation run from the 22nd of June to go to various communities, so we bring the technology closer to them. And this technology is easy to use, and they can apply using their mobile phones. There is a data cost, but it's generally not as expensive as having to access other apps on their smartphones, etc. So we are up and running, and candidates can apply now. We also have a presence at Gauteng Expo, which is in Nasrec, which is also ending today.
The economic hub of Southern Africa and one of the cornerstones of the African continent is Gauteng. Are you going to connect what we do here with the rest of the country, with the rest of the continent?
We think that this is an opportunity to start a program that can be rolled out throughout the country and throughout the continent. It's about focusing on young people and ensuring that we're able to create a new cadre of entrepreneurs, of engineers, of skilled people that are able to help us build this country and this continent.
Job fairs and road shows, and that's the kind of thing that young people should be on the lookout for in the future then?
But definitely. And I think beyond that, we're saying to them, there will be opportunities for them to volunteer in other programs, other citywide programs within their communities, as part of the drive towards making sure that they're economically engaged. So we're going to be doing a lot of that across the board. But I think it's also important to mention that our ambition as Harambee is to make sure that we develop a model, an in-city model for how we address issues of unemployment. And we feel that if we are successful, this is the model that can be replicated across the country. This is something that we can do within South Africa, but with luck we can export it to SADC and the rest of Africa as our contribution towards addressing the issues of unemployment.
Mr. Mayor, unfortunately, it is a model that has to be successful, and I think we're going to have to be quite hard in policing it, isn't it?
Certainly, and we're quite encouraged by the fact that We've got both provincial and national government who've bought into the program. The NYDA has partnered with us in implementing the program so that we are able to replicate it. If we have a model that succeeds, we can easily replicate it. So all of us are focused, joining our hands together to ensure that the program becomes a success.
I thank you for joining us. We hope this program is a success. It has to be a success, this program for South Africa. Thank you once for joining us this morning. That's Johannesburg Mayor, Mr. Park Star, and then the Executive of Special Projects at Harambee Youth Employment Accelerator, Bernard Ngosi. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.